जी आ रही है आवाज सर।
So we have completed the histology and ultrastructure of male genital system. So today, after that, next topic of this course is systemic histology and ultrastructure of female genital system. Okay. So like by the
जी सर।
male genital system here, female genital system also contains major two organs. One is in the form of gonads and other is tubular part. And another like the accessory sex gland also present in male and female also accessory sex glands are present. We will discuss later on. So these one pair of glands that is located in male is in the form of testicles outside the body, that is in the inguinal region. But here one pair of gonads which is exocrine and endocrine in functions, that is located inside in body, that is ovary. And another part is tubular organ which is for the transportation of ovum as well as terminal part, also takes part in reproduction. That is only reproductive
Yes.
part, that is the vagina. And some part is the considered as the urogenital system, means also in urinary system and the genital system, that is the urethra. So
जी सर।
these organs contains following structures, and these structures are first go in the form of gonads, that is the ovary. Next is the tubular part, fallopian tube, or also known as oviduct. Next on uterine tube or uterus, vagina, urethra, vulva, vegetables, and accessory sex gland. So this is the picture, gross picture of the female genital system of a cow, in which you see this is the ovary. Ovary is here. Later on, there is a tubular part of start. This is the infundibulum, ampulla, and isthmus, and finally this is the
जी
horn. This is the part of uterus, and later on this is the cervix and body of cervix, and converted into the vagina. And in between this there is cervix present, and this part, tubular part, is the copulatory part, that is the vagina, and last terminal part, vulva and vegetables, where clitoris is also located. Okay. So here you also see this
जी
is the urinary bladder, and urinary bladder opens here, and from here this part is the ovary, and this is the infundibulum, ampulla, and isthmus, and later on the is this biggest part is the uterine horn, and this is the cervix, and this is the vagina and vulva. Here also see this is the ovary and uterine horn. This is the uterine horn from here to here, and this structure is
जी सर।
fallopian tube. And two uterine horns connected to each other by a ligament that is known as intercornual ligament. This ligament is intercornual ligament, and whole positions
जी
of the genitalia, whole position of the genitalia is fixed by a ligament that is known as broad ligament. From here, this structure is known as broad ligament here, because during the normal stage, during the non-pregnant female, it's the normal size, and when becomes pregnant, the
जी
size becomes increases, and after that it comes normal position. So this
जी
increasing and decreasing in size of this genitalia is under control of this ligament that is known as broad ligament. Okay. The broad ligament, this is the double fold of peritoneum which originates from the lumbar vertebra and comes near the female genital system and attach the following organs, and accordingly they nomenclature. So those parts of the broad ligament which is comes in contact with the ovary is known as mesothelium. Okay, this is the mesothelium. Those part is comes in contact with the fallopian tube, mesosalpinx, and those in contact with the uterus, mesometrium. Mesothelium, mesosalpinx, and mesometrium. This is the part of broad ligament. Okay, so you understand what is broad ligament? Sir, broad ligament is the
यस
double
सर।
fold of peritoneum which originates from the lumbar vertebra and runs downward in directions and comes in contact with the
जी
female genital system in female, and is for to maintain the proper
जी
shape and size during pregnancy as well as during the normal condition. This ligament is called broad ligament, and the broad ligament which
जी
is in contact with the ovary is known as mesothelium, which is in contact with the oviduct mesosalpinx, and which is contact with the uterus is mesometrium. Okay, so this is the gross
जी sir.
structure. You see histologically the ovary having two functions. One is for the production of ovum, and another also secrete hormones. Okay, so there are
जी
two main functions, and these ovary attached by the broad ligament we have already discussed. In the living condition, is in contact with the other parts also, that is by a ligament that is known as broad ligament, and it is a double fold
जी
of peritoneum. We have defined already double fold of peritoneum, which originates from the lumbar vertebra and runs downward in directions. This double fold of peritoneum, which is comes in contact with the ovary, so ligament of the ovary is known as mesovarium, and ligament of the oviduct is known as mesosalpinx, and major ligament of the uterus is known as mesometrium, and through which the blood vessels and nerve will pass and enters inside the ovary. Okay, so now
जी sir.
histologically we have already seen the tubular organ, because ovary is not a tubular organ but having a epithelium. So epithelium is considered and known as the germinal epithelium because it play a major role for the formation or production of the different stages of the follicles. So it is known as germinal epithelium. This germinal epithelium is lined by a epithelium that is known as cuboidal epithelium. So lining epithelium of the ovary is cuboidal epithelium, and it is continuous with the periphery mesothelium and the fibrous connective tissue which runs inside, that is known as tunica albuginea. You have must remember during we have a study about the structure of the testes. After the skins, the
जी
septa or fibrous connective tissue runs inside the testicle, which divide the testicle into many lobules, that is known as testicular lobules, and that is formed by the
जी
tunica albuginea.
albuginea.
Here also tunica albuginea present near just below the epithelium. So, for the histological point of view, ovary divided into two parts. Superficial part is known as cortex, and innermost part is known as medulla. Okay, any
Medulla.
glands or
Yes.
gonads for the histological point of view divided into two parts, cortex and medulla. Cortical region outermost, and medulla is the inner region. The inner part is known as
Inner.
medulla and outer is known as cortex. So here cortex play a major
जी
role to contain the various stage of development of the follicles. Cortex consists of the
जी
various cellular connective tissue, stroma, and various state of development of follicles also contains. This is follicles in the form of primordial, primary, secondary, and tertiary, and medulla generally contains blood vessels and nerve. So anybody asks to you regarding the histology of the ovary, you say that any glands or gonads histological point of view divided into two parts. Outermost is known as cortex and innermost is known as medulla. Cortex mainly contains follicles, and this medulla mainly contains the blood vessels. Okay,
जी जी sir.
so next structures you see here. This is the slide of ovary. This is the cortical region. Outermost is cortical region. Okay, and innermost is known as medulla. So this cursor show the cortical region, which contains different stages of development of follicles. These follicles start from the smaller one is the primordial. This is the primordial follicle. This is the primary follicle. Okay, earlier
जी
stage of primary
sir.
follicle. This is the again primary follicle and secondary follicle, and finally those becomes matured, ready to ovulate, is known as matured follicle. Okay, so first primordial, primary,
Okay.
secondary, and tertiary is known as Graafian follicle or mature follicle. So these all are structure present on the cortical region. Okay, and center it contains blood vessels and stroma. This medulla center region, this is the medulla, contain blood vessel and nerve. This is the blood vessel and nerve. Okay, so when we will go one by
Yes.
one. Okay, what is the structure of primordial, primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicles, like that? All are structures present in the cortical regions, and medulla only contain blood vessels and nerve. Okay, so
Yes.
you see here, in mature adult animals, the cortical cortex will contain the ovarian follicles. Okay, in the various stages.
This.
Various stages means primary, secondary, tertiary, and that is the Graafian follicles. Development and regressions. Sometime we will see later on. Sometime ovulation takes place If fertilization happens, then the formation of corpus luteum, which maintains the pregnancy. If fertilization doesn't happen, then this corpus luteum converted in the corpus albicum, okay, and that is the
जी,
aggregation
corpus
form of the
albicans.
follicle. Corpus albicum. We will see the picture later on. So, a
जी,
smaller follicle with the ovum surrounded by a layer of follicular cells located near the periphery, and according to the presence of layer, they categorize primordial, primary, secondary, and tertiary. They pass deeper into the ovary as becomes larger and develop further. But the mature follicles again approach the surface and comes out. These follicles are primary, secondary, Graafian, and matured follicles. So this is okay, Vijay.
yes, sir.
You see here again. This is the
Yes, sir.
picture of follicles. The different stages of development of follicles. These follicles are. This is the primordial. You see here. These all are structures present and all prakriya, all happens near the cortical
जी,
region. So this is the primordial single layer. This is
जी,
becomes thickens primary follicles. If
जी,
development start, then becomes convert into secondary follicles. Sometimes
follicles.
there is no any progress in these follicles, they becomes regress, that is known as atretic follicle.
जी,
Again, secondary follicles converted in the this is known as tertiary
Antral
follicles or
follicles.
antral follicles, because there is a formation of antrum means cavity. Inside the cavity there is a
Antral.
formation of cavity, that is known as antrum follicles. Okay, yeah, the tertiary follicles, and this is the matured
जी,
follicles, the pre-ovulatory follicles, ready to ovulate. This is the mature follicle. Inside the matured follicles, there is a small structure that's known as oocyte. This is known as oocyte. Okay, this oocyte comes outside and comes near the fallopian tube, reaches up to the ampulla. If a sperm comes here, then fertilization takes place. So this is known as oocyte. We later slide we see the detail about the structure of oocyte. So this is the pre-ovulatory follicles, yeah, Graafian follicles, yeah, matured follicles, which is ready to ovulate. Okay, if ovulation takes
yes, sir.
place, then there is a formation of corpus luteum. This structure converted into corpus luteum, and this corpus luteum become matured. If pregnancy happen, if ovum fertilized, then they maintain this corpus luteum throughout the gestation period. If pregnancy doesn't
जी,
happen, then it becomes regress, and that is known as regression of corpus
regress.
luteum. So I think a structure of the cortical region you have cleared. Okay, sir, first of all, primordial start when the animals comes in the puberty, and first stage of sexual sign is seen, then primordial, primary, secondary, tertiary, that is the antral follicles, pre-ovulatory, that is the matured follicles, and they comes out in the inside the tubular organ. After that, corpus luteum, formation of corpus luteum, matured corpus luteum, and later on, if pregnancy maintained, then it present on the ovary throughout the life, otherwise becomes regress. Okay, you see here the histology
Yes, sir.
of testis, ovary. So this is the cortical region which contains, we have already seen different stage of development of follicles. It may be primordial, primary, secondary, matured, and pre-ovulatory follicles. Okay, and medulla
Yes,
contains blood vessels. Red color is so the blood vessels, mainly artery, and this is called vein, and also nerve and lymphatics are present here in center, that is the medulla. Okay, so the stroma, connective tissue, and stromal cells,
yes,
parenchyma, different stages of ovarian follicles present here. Okay, so this is the slide of the histological slide of the ovary of the containing different stages of development. You see here on the basis of their shape, these follicles first start from the primordial. This primordial in center, it contains a small size of oocyte. This is the oocyte. Okay, and this layer
yes, sir.
oocyte is surrounded by the follicular cell. So this is the follicular cell, and outside the follicular cell there is a single layer of a stromal cell. So this is the primordial. When primordial
Yes,
becomes
sir.
increases in size, and this layer follicular cell becomes 2-3 in number. You see here, comparatively here single layer, and here 2-3 number. So this layer becomes converted and to the primary follicles. Okay, so this is the primordial, and they becomes into the pre-antrum, means primary follicles, and early antrum. There is formation of cavity also here, but little amount in comparison to this one. This is the biggest antrum, and this is the small antrum. Okay, and later on again this thickness of this layer, and they indicate the primordial becomes towards near to the matured, and this is known as secondary follicles. Okay, secondary follicles, and this is known as Graafian follicles, matured follicles having Graafian follicles having inside the antrum. You see here, antrum means a space, and these oocytes again separated by formation of a structure and ready to ovulate, and this layer is known as granulation layer, and this boundary indicates inside the theca interna and outside the theca externa. Okay, so you see here, this is the theca
Yes,
interna
sir.
layer, and this is the theca externa layer. So these
External
all are structures present on the cortical region of ovary, and this process is known as, from hair to hair, this process is known as oogenesis. Oogenesis. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and this is the matured follicles. This is the matured follicles, the Graafian follicles or pre-ovulatory follicles ready to ovulate from the ovary. Outermost theca externa, theca interna. This is the granulation cell. This layer is known as granulation cell, and this is the a space that is known as antrum, and this antrum is filled up with by a fluid that is known as liquid folliculi. That is known as liquid folliculi, and around the oocyte there is a radiation in the form of radiation of granulosa cells. Radiation is known as corona radiata. Corona, coronavirus का नाम you have must aware,
जी,
shape and size of the coronavirus, because this epithelium contains
जी,
a spike-like structure. Here also is a spike-like
spike.
structure. This is known as corona, and that is in the form of radiation. This is known as corona radiata. Okay, and this layer which theca interna and granulation cells. This is the theca interna and granulation cells, which is for the which help in the attachment of these oocytes from the basement. This structure is known as cumulus porous. Okay, so this is the cumulus porous, and this is known as corona radiata, and this is known as antrum, which is filled by a
जी,
fluid. This is known as liquor folliculi. Okay, this is the structure of matured follicles. You see here, this is the single picture of mature follicle we have already discussed. This is the basement membrane. Outside the basement membrane is the theca externa, and this is the theca interna. This is the theca externa from hair to hair, and this is theca interna. Then basement membrane. Okay, then basement membrane. Inside the basement membrane, this is the granulosa cells. You see, this is the granulosa cell, and those granulosa cells comes on the center and surround the this oocyte from hair to hair. This is known as cumulus porous. This is known as cumulus porous. Okay, granulosa cells radiate towards the oocytes and forms a structure connected to each other that is known as cumulus porous, and around the oocyte there is a structure in the form of radiation that is known as corona radiata. Okay, so I think this is clear. Theca externa, this one is the theca externa, this is the theca interna, this is the basement membrane, this is the
yes,
granulosa cells. Granulosa cells. Okay, granulosa cells.
yes,
This is the cumulus porous, this is the corona radiata, and this is the oocyte. So primary oocyte or oocyte externally having a boundary which separates the corona radiata and to the primary oocyte. This boundary is known as zona pellucida. Okay, so zona pellucida is also clear. Vijay?
yes, sir.
Ah,
Zona pellucida is clear.
clear, na? So what is basement membrane of a follicle? Theca externa, theca interna, antrum, liquor folliculi, basement membrane of primary oocyte, that is the zona pellucida, granulosa cells, and cumulus porous. These all things, I think this is clear. Clear, na?
Yes, sir.
So this is all
Yes.
about the histology of the dish. ovary. Next
जी
part, a start after the histology of ovary is that fallopian tube. Because you have already seen here, this is the ovary, and this tubular part, funnel-shaped structure is known as infundibulum, and dilated part is known as ampulla, and later on it converted into the isthmus, constricted part, and from here the uterus part is a start. Those part is in the form of horn of the sheep, because first time when the scientists discovered this structure and they are suspected to their about their nomenclature, because it looked like the horn of sheep, so nomenclature as horn of uterus from here to here. These two horn of uterus connected to each other by a ligament that is known as uterine ligament. Okay, sorry, intercornual ligament. These uterus, these two uterine horn, right and left, connected to each other here, right and left, connected to each other by a ligament that is known as intercornual ligament.
intercornual.
Intercornual ligament. So this is the intercornual ligament present only here, and this is the broad ligament. Broad ligament for the attachment of ovary, fallopian tube, and uterus, all parts. And those parts which comes in contact with the ovary only, that is known as mesovarium. Those only in contact with the fallopian tube, that is the mesosalpinge. So inflammation of the oviduct is known as salpingitis. Okay, and inflammation of uterus is known as metritis. So this cortical region and medullary region of the ovary is completed, and next structures in the form of tubular part that is known as fallopian tube. This fallopian tube contains mainly three parts. First is infundibulum, ampulla, then isthmus. Okay, infundibulum, ampulla, then isthmus. So you see, we have already know the tubular structures of any part. It contains mainly four layers. Innermost is known as tunica mucosa. Later on, tunica mucosa contains three layers: lamina epithelialis mucosae, lamina propria, and lamina muscularis mucosa. Later on, tunica submucosa. This is the lamina propria, lamina epithelialis innermost. This is the lamina propria, and this layer is lamina muscularis mucosae. In some part, it is absent. And after that, tunica mucosa, which contains glands, and this muscular layer is known as tunica submucosa. That is inner circular and outer longitudinal. And outermost layer is known as tunica adventitia. Okay, so you see here, this is the fallopian tube. Major role of fallopian tube is that for the transportation of ovum. When ovulation takes place, it infundibulum, funnel part of the fallopian tube that is in contact with the ovary, it captures the ovum and transferred towards the ampulla. And the junction near the ampulla and isthmus, ampulo-isthmusal junction, where fertilization takes place. So first role of this uterine tube is for the transportation of ovum. Okay, if ovum persists here and a sperm comes, then fertilization takes place. So second role of this infundibulum is fertilization also. First is transportation of ovum, and next is fertilization. Fertilization generally takes place in infundibulum near the ampulla and isthmus. So it contains three parts. Okay, it contains three parts. Infundibulum is the first part, which is for the capturing of the ovum. Dilated part is known as ampulla, and constricted part is known as isthmus. And isthmus, towards this one, you see here, this fold is considered as primary, secondary, and sometimes tertiary. Sometimes this fold here comes single in the form of single, this is in the primary, and this is known as secondary, and this one is known as tertiary. So there are three folds sometime present, that is in the form of primary, secondary, and tertiary fold near the lumen of the infundibulum. So lining epithelium of this is simple columnar epithelium, but cilia is also present, because we know the role of cilia in case of respiratory tract also, and in case of epididymis also, vast difference also for the movement of a sperm in case of male genital. Yes, or in case of female, this is for the movement of ovum. So this simple columnar epithelium and pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelium is generally present in case of swine and in case of the ruminant. Okay, and contains more number of cilia This cilia is mainly more present in infundibulum. Lamina muscularis mucosa is absent. Okay, this is the part of tunica submucosa. You know, tunica submucosa contains three parts: lamina epithelialis mucosae, lamina propria, and lamina muscularis mucosae. Out of three, this is absent. When this is absent, then it combinedly called lamina propria and submucosa. So this lamina propria and submucosa mainly contains loose connective tissue fiber. And we know the tunica muscularis mucosae, inner circular and outer longitudinal. This is the thumb rule for the all tubular organ except some uterus, some like the urinary bladder and others also. Okay, so this tunica submucosa contains inner circular and outer longitudinal, and this layer, inner circular and outer longitudinal, out of three, it is thickest in case of the isthmus and thinnest in case of the ampulla, because it contains three parts. Vijay, are you listening? Hello, Vijay. Okay, so and uttermost is known as tunica serosa and tunica serosa, right? Tunica serosa and tunica adventitia. You know, tunica serosa is the outermost layer, tunica adventitia, which generally contains loose connective tissue fibers, blood vessels, nerves, and lymphatic lifeline. These are structures present in mainly in the outermost layer. So you see here, this is the layer of the uterine tube, fallopian tube, which contains, this is the innermost lamina epithelialis mucosae. Tunica mucosa contains three layers. Out of three, lamina muscularis mucosa is absent, and later on tunica submucosa and tunica muscularis, that is inner circular and outer longitudinal, and outermost tunica serosa, which contains blood vessels and nerve. And this is lined by pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelium. So see here, this is the columnar cell. Length of cell is 2 times than its width. This is, and these cells externally are outermost containing the cilia. This is the cilia. So this is cilia. Sometimes cilia present, sometimes not present. So this is pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelium, or lining epithelium of the fallopian tube. Lining epithelium of the fallopian tube, pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar. Again, you see, this is the fallopian tube. This is the innermost layer, this one, and this is the outermost. So outermost layer is known as tunica serosa. Outermost layer comprises mesothelium, thin layer connective tissue fiber. We have already discussed nerves, blood vessels, and lymphatic. Muscularis run throughout the length, that is the inner circular and outer longitudinal. Outer longitudinal is thinner, and this is the thickest. But this position is the thickest in case of the ampulla, and in isthmus, that is the thinnest. And middle layer is a outer circular and inner longitudinal layer, and this is the innermost layer, tunica mucosa, that is lined by pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelium or simple columnar epithelium. Okay, Vijay. So that's all about the. We will finish total topic in the 2 classes. So today, be 2 important organs have been finished. That is the ovary and the fallopian tube. So next class we will discuss later on, after this 2 important structure, that will the uterine horn cervix body, that is the part of uterine tube, vagina, urethra. We have already discussed in male, female, male urethra. Similar is here, vulva, vestibules, clitoris, accessory sex gland, Bartholin, and the mammary gland also considered here the accessory sex gland in case of the female. Okay, so I think this is completed for today.
Yes, sir.
Any query? You must aware about this structure. This is the important structure, Graafian follicles. Sometime examiner asks you draw the neat and clean diagram of this fallopian Graafian follicles. Okay, so you have must knowledge or idea about these structures of the Graafian follicles. Outermost layer. Yes. What is the outermost layer? What is the innermost layer? And inside the fallopian tube, what is the main structures present? Okay, Vijay? Anything if you want to ask? So that is all for today. Okay, Vijay?
Yes.
Okay.
जी सर.
तो इंड किया जाए.
ठीक है, प्रणाम सर.
प्रणाम प्रणाम.
जी सर.
ठीक ठीक.